I want to make sure I get your last name right.
Hohepa.
Hohepa.
Yeah, Hohepa. Actually, it's a New Zealand Maori name, and it means Joseph. And if you translate it, so you can call me Nick Joseph if you want. No.
No.
Welcome to the Mike and Moses Show. 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 The Kitchen Sessions.
We're online, are we? Are we live, are we?
Yeah, we're live, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, you hit the button this time?
Yeah, I did. It's red.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a pretty common last name in New Zealand, or?
Oh, yeah, it's pretty common, yeah. A lot of people called Hohepa. I got a big Hohepa family from the north of Auckland. And I was hoping to catch up with them again. I was there in January in New Zealand, and for 1 month, and I just kind of the last time I was back was 2017. So things have changed a lot. And so it's interesting to compare what's going on, because that's basically on the other side of the planet, So being here is massive contrast, culture-wise, and government-wise. And New Zealand, it's interesting what's happening there. Generally, the things are not going so well as look at the whole politics and economy and everything. A lot of people are leaving there to go to Australia and Britain because of the you just make more buck. You get more bucks for your work. So the teachers and skilled workers and doctors and things are going over there. So this is not helping the economy, and the housing crisis and things like that. And inflation is pretty high. But apart from that, as soon as you get off the plane, it's just relaxed. As soon as you get into the international airport, you get greeted by a couple little hound dogs. Yeah, that's it. They sniff you.
Home.
They sniff you pretty much not for drugs. They're looking for fruit. Yeah. You could be you could have a load of drugs in there. And he's like, did you have an apple on you? Yeah.
So don't hide your drugs in the fruit.
So do you bring your guitar when you fly back home, or does it always go with you?
So I bring my guitar with me, yeah, sure. I did a couple of gigs, nothing major, and just and also some street music. Because what I did actually is I just hired if anybody goes to New Zealand, anyone to tour, best thing to do is just hire a car or a van, camper van, and just drive. Drive. And and then you a lot of free camping stuff there. And just, the views are just amazing. Every 2 hours is something amazing to see. You start from the top and come down and cross over the Cook Strait with the ferry and just drive down the bottom and come back up again. Lots to see. Beautiful country. Oh, another thing was the weather was changing a little bit. And I think this is just, global climate change.
Yeah.
So, I noticed we're having heat waves over here. So the opposite side, we're having more storms than normal.
Yeah.
So this is not great, but we will see.
And you started playing music back in New Zealand, right?
Yeah, I got brought up with music. Yeah, my mother was always playing, and my father also enjoyed music, and he was very supportive. Always bought me instruments and things like that. And and they were always having parties and things, and pulling out the guitar and singing with the family and the friends. So I got brought up with it, And in the schools that I went through, they were very supportive of music as well. So, I was quite, how could I say it, immersed in music and had a lot of support.
Wait, when did you start getting gigs and doing it professionally?
Interesting, yeah, because really early actually. So one of the earliest experiences I had was I'll go back right from the start. So at high school, I think I was about 15 or so. And we had this music block, and you would walk down the hallway and there's these little music rooms. And then I kind of heard this piano, and I walked past one of the rooms, and I stopped and I backed up and looked in, and there's this guy, man, he was playing piano, dude, and he had the most gollywog hair, and no shit, bro. He had the thickest glasses, jam jar glasses, dude. And he was just sitting there playing this piano, and I'm just like, dude. And so I came down and sat next to the guy and I was watching him. And yeah, the guy's called Darren McDonald, and from that point I kind of just connected with the guy. I was just like amazed. The guy he went through a thing called the Suzuki method, and it's very apparently a really great way of learning piano.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, and he was just phenomenal. So I was just sitting there, and he could sing as well. And so what happened is I started collaborating with him, and we're just jamming. I ended up playing saxophone with him and singing backup harmonies, and we were playing a lot of Elton John. He could play that to the T. And then what happened was, yeah, one of the I don't know how it's a while back since that happened, but can't remember exactly how it happened. But we ended up playing a little blues bar in the town of Napier. And so we had these like 16-year-olds playing to these, it was a professional scene. It was cafe with beer and so we would get like, I don't know, I think we got $30 each, which which is fuck all, like it's just and then we got a free feed. But to us that was just amazing. And it was really, pretty chicky, as in, German, pretty high class. So we were playing in the corner and all these adults would be sitting there and drinking their wine and stuff. And so that was my first kind of really professional experience. And and then from there I formed different bands in high school, and we played in Battle of the Bands. And then when we started creating cover bands, we started working. So yeah, from pretty much teenage years, I was already starting to, I would say, being professional, you're playing in an environment where you're basically making money, and in a professional scene where you'd have to turn up and play at a certain time and that sort of thing. So yeah, pretty early.
Was music the thing that kind of brought you to Hamburg too, or?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the story was the Auckland music scene was what I was living most of the time. It's a big city in the North Island. So I was living in the city there, and I was playing a lot, doing pretty much the same thing I was doing here, just playing in the local bars and clubs and writing my own music at the time. And I uploaded some music to MySpace. So we had MySpace back then.
Yeah, I remember MySpace.
Yeah, that was the thing. MySpace was the thing. You'd be checking it every day. And then, so what happened was a lady called Sylvia Bell kind of found my music and messaged me. And she was originally from Hamburg, and she's an interesting lady. I've got to do a podcast about her, hopefully. And so Sylvia Bell was originally from Hamburg, Germany. She was actually the what would you call it? Well, she was running Virgin Music in Hamburg, and this was back in the 80s. So what happened? She was living here, doing all that, and then she went back. She met a New Zealander, went back to New Zealand, went to New Zealand, and then lived there for about 20 years. And so during that time, she met me. And then I met her, and we met up, and then she really liked my music. So we started working together in New Zealand. And then from that point, along the way, she goes, I've got some contacts in Europe and Germany. Shall we go over there? So we came over about 2011, and we did a little tour. I did a radio tour. So she was promoting my music here, and we did a radio tour throughout Germany. That was a great experience. And then that was only for, how long was it? That was only for 3 months, and then we went back, and that was great. And so the other thing was that she's originally from here. So at some point along the line, she goes, I think I have to go back home. And so I was like, well, nothing's holding me back here. I'll come with you, because the opportunity. Because that one trip was amazing. And this woman is a really interesting lady, and she's been working with some of the top artists in the world. So what would happen is, like, for example, and I'm not lying, but it's a little bit surreal. Actually.
Yeah.
So she would be, the Virgin headquarters were here, and she would literally be picking up like guys like the Rolling Stones. And she actually helped Lenny Kravitz with his career here start off, and all these, she got this, when I met her, she had this folder, and she got photos in it. She was like, oh, well, this is what I've done. I've worked with this guy and all these, all these famous artists. And in New Zealand, it's like, it seems even more surreal, because we're so far away. And I was just like, did you Photoshop all this stuff? Because she's literally in these photos. And because, I work with this person and it's just surreal. And so for me, I was convinced that, this could be a great opportunity for me. And it was. And so, we worked together. And so that trip that I did, that 3-month trip was just surreal. We ended up, I ended up meeting some amazing people. I actually, so Lenny Kravitz, he played. We ended up in the backstage and we were actually in the backstage with the guy. And I was just like,
is this happening?
And she's like, oh, hey, Sylvia, hey. And he actually dedicates the songs to her, during that concert.
Wow.
And I actually recorded that. So, and this is just amazing. So being from New Zealand, you would just never have that. So it was great for me. And then, we went back to New Zealand, came back here, and then we tried to carry on with the career thing. So, and I'm still here. So, yes.
It seems like you had success like pretty quick from starting from singing and people, you got attention pretty fast. Already playing in bars at 16 and.
Yeah. I guess, and a lot of it was just natural talent, and hanging around with other talented people.
It kind of shows you how different the past can be, like compared to somebody like me and Moses that takes the long way around and still loving every second. So your story almost sounds alien a little bit. It's like everything's going like this fast.
But to be honest with you, I did try other things, and this is the strange thing is like, it wasn't just music. I did other things. So as I was talking to you before about my science background, so at high school I was interested in science, and when I left high school, I actually started to further my science career and ended up majoring in microbiology and ended up working in some laboratories and things like this. So that was the thing then. And then, later in life, you do other things. I ended up selling cars, doing door-to-door sales. I was fully into martial arts, so I was doing like this martial arts club thing, full-time martial artist. So I was trying different things. And during this time, I was a full-time car salesman. I was making good money, but there was just something missing, And at some point along the line, something snapped along the line. It was like always had my music with me, always did it, but I think the thing is that it was never number one. Sometimes it was. There was always something else that was number one. I have to do this. This is life. I have to do that, and the music is in the background. So at some point along the line, one day I was just selling some cars in the car lot. And I had a break up with the missus too. That was a big catalyst. That was a big catalyst.
Yeah.
And then I was just thinking, what am I doing? I said, and just snapped. Just like, I'm quitting today. I just went into the office of the boss and I said, hey mate, I'm done. I'm done. He was like, what? Because I was a pretty good salesman, So he was like, what can I do? What can I do? I was like, nah, man, I'm done. And that day, I remember, I just walked out. I just felt good. This weight was off my shoulders. I didn't know what was going to happen because, obviously I'm going to lose my income and that. But I just didn't care. And then I just hit the music, and it was pretty amazing. What happened is I went into the studio and my finances were collapsing around me, and I had to sell up everything. Everything changed very quickly, and I went in the studio and I recorded this one song. It was called "Ordinary Girl." Recorded everything by myself. I just said, "I'll just go there." I didn't think about it. I just did it, And the guy was like, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to record a song." Who's your musicians? I'm the musician. Who wrote the song? Me. Okay,
it's all me.
And I just said, well, let's start. So I laid down the guitar and I laid down the drums and everything. And we created this song, and then I sent it in. There's a funding scheme in New Zealand called New Zealand On Air. And I sent the song in and we got a grant for that. And that was just amazing feeling. Like, wow,
Wow.
because I was pretty much on going down, financially and everything. It just feel like this, I'm going downhill, And then suddenly this thing just lifted you up, and it was the music, And from that point, that's where the career really started taking off. So I wrote a lot more songs, released music, and that's where I met Sylvia. Ended up over here, so that's the story, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I find that you have a really good work ethic, and I see you all over the place.
Yes.
You're playing so many different places and just really putting it out there constantly.
Yeah.
And I've seen you helping out other people, like arrange shows and do things like this. And this work ethic it's not something that every musician has,
No,
Some people can play and sing, but
everybody's got their philosophy, what would you call it? Yeah, like different way of doing it. Some people are got full-time jobs and they're still doing music. Some people are just got different ways of looking at it and philosophies in regards to work ethic and that sort of thing. For me, it was like, there's nothing else I really want to do, to be honest. And also the other philosophy is I always kind of believe that, if I don't have a plan B, and I just do this thing, it has to work.
Yeah.
It's like being on a tightrope, and if you have two guys on a tightrope next to each other, right? And they both start going down the tightrope and one of them has a safety net. One of them's definitely going to stay on, because if he's the one without a safety net, if he drops, he's gone.
Yeah.
The other guy, if he drops, he's got a safety net, so that's the philosophy. And so what I found is, you have to survive on it and it works. And so you have to be diverse if you want to be, well, from my point of view, I'm very diverse. I can make money in different ways, but it's all under the flag of music. So I like to help other musicians. Yeah, there's different ways of making money in music as well. So you can be a producer, you can be a live musician, you can be an agent, whatever,
Yeah.
So many different ways of making music. And also, being an original artist, you also got the royalty thing. Put music out there, and if you land a good job, like one of your songs get put on a movie or something, I think you get pretty good money for that. I haven't done that yet. But
The next step.
royalties and all this sort of stuff. There's so many ways of making money with music, which is really great. But you have to be doing it, and there's a little bit of luck involved as well.
Yeah.
One thing I get from looking at other artists that play on the reverb is a sense of labor and how intense it is, and how the hustle of just trying to be a musician. You constantly have to be playing every night as a performer. Do you play often, or how often do you play?
I do it often, yeah. Because for me, I still love playing on the street. Like I'll still play, I'll go busking sometimes, because it's so nice just to go down on Lensbrooken, which is one of my favorite places to go, set up my guitar and just play. And you think, why would you want to do that? And then from that point, you could do the same thing on the street and then end up maybe playing on a huge stage, doing the same thing, like a huge stage in front of, thousands of people. Same thing. So you got to ask yourself, why would you want to do that? And it's like, my philosophy is that it's not about the money. It's not about desperation or anything. It's for me to do some busking. It's just this, it's the rawest level of entertainment. This is a really interesting topic because the time that this really shone through was the Corona time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This was really interesting.
Yeah.
Now, this was oh my God, this time was unbelievable. So basically what happened was, I didn't have any gigs. We were locked down. Like you couldn't do any gigs. All the bars were closed. You couldn't, form groups or anything like this. The only way to keep the money coming in, I was a bit worried about it, and it was because you didn't know how long this corona is going to go, this lockdown is to go busking. So I went out busking, and, there was one point, I think it was about 3 months lockdown, and basically everybody got their toys taken away from them. Basically in regards to, in this case, it would be entertainment. So there was no theater, there was no opera, there was nothing like music for 3 months. And so you'd be playing the guitar and suddenly people just come, oh my God.
Yeah, I never thought about that with the busking thing.
Feeding their soul,
Yeah.
And I tell you, mate, there's a couple of our mates would get together and we'll just jam on the street. Down Lensbrooken, I've got footage of this, and it was like a concert sometimes. It was just like people everywhere. Yeah, and they had their phones, and it was just like a concert. People up on the stairs, and just atmosphere was amazing. And then we were just playing on the street, and the amount of money was great. So this was a really eye opener. So you can't when you see somebody busking, it's you think yeah. But it's a powerful thing, And I always say to anybody who wants to start trying to get to some sort of level, is go busking, And I started out busking as well. I would just go out and play, and you see somebody walking down the street, they look like Rastafarians. You go, yeah, I'll play a bit of Bob Marley. I'll chuck you $1, you know. And you say, you know, that's a bit of reggae there. And I see some other people, they look like Ed Sheeran types, and you play a bit of Ed Sheeran. So you're building your repertoire to cater for the crowd. And as you're doing that, you're building your repertoire, you're learning as you're learning new songs. So the whole thing for me was like, when it comes to what you're saying, playing constantly in bars, obviously it's making money to, you know, pay your bills. But at the same time, I kind of use it to be consistent, keep my skills up, keep the voice as well. The voice is an interesting instrument because it's not like you can wake up in the morning and play a piano, a C chord on the piano and it's perfect. You know, it's going to be different every day. Like, you know, sometimes you're sick and how do you deal with that? You know, you got to learn how to, oh no, I've got like 5 gigs coming up this week and I'm sick. My God, that's the most stressful thing as a singer. So you got to learn how to get by and make it work somehow. So, so for me, it's like a philosophy, and some people go, oh, why are you playing these bars every night? And stuff? But for me, it's kind of like a paid practice, actually. So when you go in with that philosophy, it's like, I'm not really there to be a big star or to be a diva or to make money. It's really just about, hey, I'm practicing, I'm keeping my skills up and stuff like that. And I think a lot of musicians around the world do that. I think that just keeps you hot, keeps you warm, you know?
Yeah, getting out there. I found the difference when I'm practicing in my kitchen compared to if I go out on the street and play some music. Like, I'm still doing the same thing. I'm still practicing the songs that I want to play.
Yeah.
But it's just this different feeling. And I'm, you know, there's these people and I'm like, okay, it's a little more pressure, but good pressure.
Don't get me wrong. And here's the thing. What you say is quite interesting because, you know, that's different types of performance or learning. So learning at home is a different type of learning, and you can get into details. You know, you can really. So if you were to learn a song or create a song, you can do it at home. But then, you know, when you're in front of a crowd, this is a different type of learning.
Yeah.
And you're under pressure. So, because I know a lot of musicians who are amazing. Like, I've met people that just guitar skills are phenomenal, and I'm like, I wish I could play like you.
Right.
And then as soon as you put them in an environment of crowd in front of some people, they're buggered. What are you talking about? You should be playing.
Yeah, do your thing. Do that thing you were doing before.
Yeah, and this is an interesting conversation because me and Moses have recently ventured out, and like I said, I've been behind the computer playing the whole time, and I create these songs.
Yeah.
And now I guess the last 6 months to 7 months, we've been trying to go out and perform. I noticed that the songs that I've been playing for like 2 years, it shapes those songs, and when I have to play them differently or like get rid of certain songs.
Practical application.
Practical application is intense with performance.
That's it.
It's really, and
that's the thing you got to learn. It's a totally different type of
totally different
brain
thing.
functioning.
Yeah.
So, you know, and have the confidence. Confidence is a big thing for a lot of young artists, up and coming artists. You could be a great singer, great player, but you know, if you got to learn to build that confidence, you know. Yeah, a lot of artists have their different ways of doing it. Yeah, when I play, I'm a musician. I call myself a musician, and I go to play, and I play music. You know, I'm not there to be a clown. I'm not there to juggle. You know, but some people are good at entertaining. So I find like musicians can be a good entertainer and a good musician. You can be both. So, and then some a little bit too much entertainment, and they lack in the musical area. So I noticed some people would sometimes be very entertaining, but as soon as they open their mouth, they're a little bit out of tune. And,
yeah,
they kind of make up for it with entertainment or joking or talking to the people. So it's an interesting thing. But I don't like talking to the crowd too much. I'm not much of a. I consider myself a bit more like Neil Young. He just sits there with his eyes closed and plays.
Yeah.
And it's entertaining. He doesn't even really say much. He just sits there, eyes closed, and take a look. And it's just amazing. He doesn't need to jump around like a clown.
Yeah. And then you just got to find your way as your own artist, right?
Yeah, I really try to concentrate on getting the quality right. I really love trying to listen and use these things called ears, you know. So when I'm playing, I'm really trying to really zoom into everything that's happening, make sure I've got a nice monitor sound. So when I'm feeling good, then I'm you know, I assume the crowd is feeling good too.
Yeah.
Making sure the pitch, you know, for me, pitch is really important. That's an important thing for a singer.
And you're working on a new album you mentioned the other day.
Slowly working on that. Just releasing a single it's been every 2 months. So at the moment I've got about 7 songs, and another 3 to be finished by the end of the year, and then I'll release the album at the end of the year. And I've been recording these songs at the home studio, not far from here actually, the France Plaza, and that's a beautiful studio, so do recommend to go and visit that one. And Franz is an interesting guy. He was in a band called Felix Deluxe.
Yeah.
And he was a guitarist and also ended up producing and working with some top artists around the world. So he's a great guy to work with, and I like him because he's old school, he's vintage, and the studio is just full of vintage equipment. And this is an interesting topic in itself because we have this thing called AI coming.
Yeah.
Yes, and so this is very interesting time. So yeah, for me as an artist, I'm a multi-instrumentalist, so I just love going to a studio like this, and you got a Gretsch kit there and everything. You got Neumann mics, and you got just all this vintage stuff. You go in there and you put your instruments together, you create this song, and then you do the vocals, and it comes together. You mix it, and you master it, and that process for me is just amazing. For me, I don't really, do I really want to make money and be famous with that? It's like, be nice, but to be honest, the process is, I can't explain it.
Yeah.
That to me is just ability. Well, I think I have a special ability. I don't think anybody can do that, can actually go in there, write a song, do the lyrics, record the drums, record all the instruments pretty much. I will get help with some areas that I lack in, which is keyboard playing. I'll get a keyboard player or something like this. But majority of this music I can do myself. So I can create a song by myself, and not to be big-headed or anything, but I just think for me, it's amazing feeling to be able to, and one of the most amazing feelings is to be able to do that, and then at some point along the line, hear your song played on the radio.
Yeah.
Is one of the most amazing feelings. I remember the first time that kind of happened, I recorded this song called Baby Hold On. I was actually the Ordinary Girl as well, but I recorded the song Baby Hold On, and I was driving down the road and recorded the song at a studio called York Street Studio in Auckland, top studio. And I was driving along, and then the song got played on the radio, and the feeling just, yeah, that's has no monetary sort of value. That's just this feeling. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So the process itself, and the production, and the release, and then of course the output is just if that works, oh my God, it's a beautiful feeling. And so it'd be nice to make big money from it, but you can make some royalties and things like this.
Yeah. Besides live, of course, where would somebody find your music at? How would they find you?
Oh yeah, online, nickhohepa.com, and Instagram, of course, and of course I'm posting my gigs on there, so I'm always playing. And I do a lot of cover gigs because I enjoy doing it. Some people would say, "Why you do covers all the time?" I actually enjoy doing it. My repertoire of covers is huge, and it's kind of like my study as well.
Yeah.
Like, for example, what would be a good example? Like the last song I just learned, I just love learning these old songs, especially from the 80s.
Yeah.
And even these songwriters like George Harrison and Neil Young, and these guys were pioneers of songwriting. And when you break their song down, it's like you're dissecting a song and you're learning from it,
Mm-hmm.
And then for example, what's a good example? George Harrison, My Sweet Lord.
Yeah.
And so this is an interesting song. I love it. And there's this one chord in there that links it all together. It's like an augmented or something, like, and you learn it, and you try, what the hell is that chord? I would never play that. I would never use that chord. But then it's an application thing. You kind of, whoa, and it links, and it's just like, wow.
Would you be game to play one of your originals for us?
Yeah, why not? All right, so I'll quickly play a little song. I'm going to release this soon. It's a little ballad. It's called The Instruction Manual, and I got an interesting sort of concept about it. It's like, so for example, if you buy something from IKEA and you need to put it together, it comes in boxes, and of course what comes in the box, the product and the instruction manual, right? You know how to put it together. You look at the instruction manual, you put it together, right? And so the song is about that in a sense, but once you apply that to a human, when we're born, you're not born with an instruction manual. So that's the thing. It's like, well, what does that mean? It means, in the song, it means kind of like, well, if there's no instruction manual, you've got to kind of figure it out. Yeah, somehow. So basically, there is no real instruction manual when you're born and living life. I think a lot of life, you really got to kind of, hopefully you got good mentors around you. People can teach you, parents and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it's you, and you're the one that needs to figure it out. So that's what the song is about.
Nice.
So I like the concept. And the recording's done. I've just got to finish the video, and it will come out a bit later. So you get a little bit of a taste of it.
Has anybody seen my instruction manual? Need to know what parts I need. Has anybody seen the booklet that I came with? Need to know the terms of my warranty. Has anybody seen my owner manual? I need to check the guarantee. Has anybody seen the blueprints of this world? Need to know where this passage leads. Hold on a minute, I don't think I ever came with one. I think I'm gonna have to wing it, take each step one by one. If I fuck it up, can only blame myself for what I've done. Life don't come with instruction manual, and it ain't no life if it comes with one. Has anybody seen my user manual? Need to assemble this life I lead. Has anybody seen the layout for the scheme? Need to know exactly what it means. Hold on a minute, I don't think I ever came as one. I think I'm gonna have to wing it, take each step one by one. And if I fuck it up, can only blame myself for what I've done. Life don't come with instruction manuals, and it ain't no life if it comes with one. 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 Hold on a minute, I don't think I ever came with one. Think I'm gonna have to wing it, take each step one by one. And if I fuck it up, I only blame myself for what I've done. Life don't come with instruction manuals, and it ain't no life if it comes with one. 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 If it comes with one.
the instruction manual.
Nice, man.
Thanks, man.
It all makes sense now.
It makes sense.
Now I get it.
Thanks, appreciate that. Yeah.
Setting, I think, is really special.
Yeah, just hanging out in the kitchen.
Organic. This is as organic as you can get.
Yeah, really appreciate you being on the show.
Man,
this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, can do it again.
Yeah. But what kind of things you got coming up you would like people to know?
Oh, just keep an eye out on the website. Get the new songs coming out, new videos, and then looking to lead up to an album release, and hopefully do some more promos and stuff from that point.
And they can find where you're playing at.
Yeah, playing locally, and So at the moment, I'm not planning on anything huge until I do the album. So. Yeah, but apart from that, just releasing the songs globally. Yeah, and I'm getting a bit of airplay on radio, a little bit of support locally from what was the radio station? Radio Second in Ostrock, and also back home in New Zealand, they're playing some of my songs. So.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's nice. It's nice to know that I can support back home. So when I get off that plane, there'll be a big limousine, hopefully picking me up.
All your friends and family, they get to just hear you, like on the radio. That's nice.
And that, my friend, that's a really cool thing. Like, hopefully they hear you and
they're thinking about you, and they're like, Nick.
Either that or they're like, oh my God, I can't get rid of this guy.
I doubt that.
Thanks, guys.
Has anybody seen my instruction manual? Need to know what parts I need. Has anybody seen the booklet that I came with? Need to know the terms of my warranty. Has anybody seen